जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजना। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंजा बिहारी। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे हरे। हरे राम राम हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे। जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय जगन्नाथ जय बलादेवा जय सुभद्रा। जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना गौर हरे। जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना जय सच्चिनंदना गौर हरे। गौरा गौरा गौर हरि गौरा गौरा गौर हरि। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। निताय गौर हरि बोल। जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद। जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद श्री भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। देवों विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमद श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। आनंद कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य हरदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगमय यमुनामयी की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। पिताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। अल्लोरीष्ट मुरली उड़ हरे कृष्ण। अल्लोरीष्ट मुरली उड़ हरे कृष्ण। अल्लोरीष्ट मुरली उड़ हरे कृष्ण। अल्लोरीष्ट श्री गुरु गौरांगा शुभपाद की जय। ओम विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचार निर्विशेष शून्यवाद पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। Thank you for joining. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2. Contents of Gita summarized. Verse number 69. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टाप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। हरि ओम तत्सत्। 2.69 chapter 2। या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी। यस्यां जागर्ति संयमी यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः। या निशा सर्वभूतानां 2.69 या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी। यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः। या निशा सर्वभूतानां तस्यां जागर्ति संयमी। यस्यां जाग्रति भूतानि सा निशा पश्यतो मुनेः। Synonyms. Yeah, what? Nisha is night. Sarva, all. Bhutanam, of living entities. Tasyam, in that. Jagarti is wakeful. Samyami, the self-controlled. Yasyam, in which. Jagrati, are awake. Bhutani, of all beings. Sa, that is. Nisha, night. Pasyate, for the introspective. Mune, sage. Translation by Sri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada की जय। What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. We repeat, what is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-control, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Verse number 70. अपूर्यमानम् अचल प्रतिष्ठं समुद्रम् आप प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामयं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिम् आप्नोति न कामकामी। अपूर्यमानम् अचल प्रतिष्ठं samudram apah pravishanti yadvat तद्वत् कामायं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिम् आप्नोति न कामकामी अपूर्यमानम् अचलप्रतिष्ठम् समुद्रम् आपः प्रविशन्ति यद्वत् तद्वत् कामयं प्रविशन्ति सर्वे स शान्तिम् आप्नोति न कामकामी. Synonyms: Apuryamanam, always being filled. Achala Pratishtam, steadily situated. Samudram, the ocean. Apa, waters. Pravishanti, enter. Advat, as. Tadvat, so. Kama, desires. Yam, unto whom. Pravishanti, enter. Sarve, all. Sa, that person. Shantim, peace. Apnoti, achieves. Na, not. Kama, kami, one who desires to fulfill desires. One who desires to fulfill desires. Translation: a person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Please repeat. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. Verse number 71. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumam charati nishpruha nirmamo nirahankara sa shantim adhigacchati. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumam charati nishpruha nirmamo nirahankara sa shantim adhigacchati. Vihaya kaman yas sarvan pumam charati nishpruha nirmamo nirahankara sa shantim adhigacchati. Synonyms: Vihaya, giving up. Kaman, material desires for sense gratification. Ya, who. Sarvan, all. Puman, a person. Charati, lives. Nispruha, desireless. Nirmamaha, without a sense of proprietorship. Nirahankara, without false ego. Sa, he. Shantim, perfect peace. Adhigacchati, attains. Translation: a person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. Please repeat. A person who has given up all desires for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. I'll try to understand verses. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langete Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram. Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Krupa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. So here in this section now, almost last section, this is in section 6 of the chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, where Arjuna is asking a question about who is the Siddha Prajna. So, and what is his qualities, how does he walk, how does he sit, how does he speak. These were the three questions, part of this chapter 2.54, Arjuna is asking these three questions. Before that, Arjuna was bewildered whether to fight or not fight. Then he has surrendered to Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. Then Krishna has given the transcendental knowledge of Sankhya Yoga, preliminary knowledge, body and soul. Then he gone to Karma Yoga about the duty, the activity, and then he went on to further explain about the Nishkama Karma, that acting without attached to results. Then he came to the now the path of Samadhi, path of liberation, is talking about in this last section, sixth section. So where Arjuna is asking this question now to me, Krishna is giving indication the characteristics, the qualities of the self-realized soul, one who is Sthita Prajna, one who is fixed up in devotion service. How does he behave? In terms of his senses, in terms of his gross body, in terms of his subtle body, and how he uses his mind, his intelligence, his senses. Gross body includes senses, karmendriyas, jnanendriya, working senses, knowledge acquiring senses. How he uses his senses, how he uses his mind, how he uses his intelligence, and how he uses his actual ego. So, that those are the four different levels. Lengths is using, Krishna is using these few verses, is dividing these verses into these sections. Last verse is talking about the senses. The now Krishna is talking about is giving an example, like this 69 and 70. Krishna is giving an example of a person who is introspective, who is self-realized, one who is fixed up, this Sthita Prajna. He acts differently. When everybody is sleeping, he is awake. So then when everybody is awake, like most of the living entities are, when they are awake, the introspective or self-realized soul is sleeping. So what does that mean? So that means that's why Prabhupada is explaining intelligence. This is also Krishna is talking about the intelligence. Few verses before also Krishna is talking about one who is fixed up in devotion service, how he uses his intelligence. His intelligence is guided by, sharpened by Shastra, not is using his own whimsical thoughts, because mind and intelligence always, that is the mind's thinking, feeling, willing. Mind and intelligence. Intelligence is above the mind, above the senses is mind, above the mind is intelligence, above the intelligence is soul, and soul is guided by super soul. But there is a free will. So many times we use our free will speculation, our ideas, not based on the Shastra and Sadhu and Guru. That's where the problem is. The intelligence, when it is not sharpened, then we use our own intelligence, material intelligence, and follow through that. And that's where we see so much disturbance, so many lifetimes we have to change the different types of body, and so many difficulties we have to go through, so much entanglement we have to go through. So that's why Krishna is giving these characteristics so that we understand. This is the these 8 or 10 plus verses, Sthita Prajnastakam, you can call this last section of this Bhagavad Gita of chapter 2. So what does that mean, the sleep? What it means is, when a living entity, one is literal meaning of sleep, that will come to it. We'll take an example of two devotees example, literally taking as a sleep, as it is mentioned here. Ya Nisha, Nisha 2 times it is mentioned. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Jagrat Samyami. Samyami means fully controlled. Jagrati means wake up, awake. Second, 2 times Jagrati is used, and then 2 times Nisha, night, is being used here. So one who is, so that sleep, it means one who is devoid of Krishna consciousness, one who is devoid of spiritual activity, one who is devoid of Shastra, knowledge of Shastra, as it is mentioned. Just Shastra Vidhim Ustrijya Vartate Kama Karna Siddhim Navapnoti Nalapade Param. One who is not following or dependent or under the jurisdiction of Shastra and Sadhu and Guru, then he will not be able to attain peace or any actual benefit. Na Siddhim, no perfection. Navapna Lapate Param, no happiness in this life or next life. One who cannot follow the injunctions of the Shastra, especially for human being, not other living entities. They gradually evolve to the next life, but for a human being, he can degrade. So, as Prabhupada was mentioning, that how can I become a pure devotee? He was thinking, he was in the part of the Timothy Leary, where the self-realization is going high in devotion, going high in advancing in the meditation. They think that LSD, by taking intoxication of LSD drugs, you can become high. So that is what the advancement means. That's what they thought. So one of the person, he was coming from that background. Then he asked Prabhupada, how do you become how a person can become a pure devotee? Then Prabhupada gave tell him, man is the architect of his own future. So yeah, whatever done is done. Now you become serious and practice the principles of given in the Bhagavad Gita slowly and systematically, step by step. Then we can perfect our life. Otherwise, there is no possibility. And we see that the same point of this, what this verse is talking about, conquering the sleep, literally means sleep, and it also means the ignorance, the sleep, the characteristics of the ignorance. Chapter 14 talks about three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So, mode of ignorance, the characteristics is pramada, alasyam, nidra. These are the three things. Means mad, intoxicated, engage in whatever they like to do. So, abnormal activities, or sleep, oversleep, not regulated sleep, oversleeping. And then indolence, very lazy, very lethargic, hardly they want to do, they procrastinate, take it for a long time to finish any activity. So these are the characteristics of one who is situated in mode of ignorance. The sleep is also, as per one who is unregulated sleep is considered a mode of ignorance. So now coming back to the actual one definition, one understanding, not taking the literal meaning. So we take, there are two examples. Sridhar Pandit in the Chaitanya Charitamrita in Gaur Leela. We take also the example of Muchukunda. So related to sleep, related to how they are awakening their consciousness, how they are self-realized. So even though, so how the one uses, how they use sleep, one, and how he has conquered sleep. Both cases are there, but both are became advanced in devotion. How it is so we can see that. So first, let's understand from here the what it means. Intelligent person. The Prabhupada is dividing this purport, clearly telling that intelligence is divided two ways. One who is depending, one who is directing his intelligence toward the soul. Soul means Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. He is actually Brahmana. Brahman. Brahman or Brahmana, both are same. Brahman means we are soul. Spirit soul is called Brahman, and super soul is called Parabrahman. So when we say Brahman or Brahmana, means one who understands the actual his original position, real position of his transcendental identity, then he is called Brahmana. He is called Brahman. One who comes to that level, that's the first and foremost is Atato Brahma Jignasa. One must inquire about the absolute truth. Brahman also means absolute truth. So the supreme absolute truth. So that's what here Brahman means. The intelligence drawn towards that self-realization is one type of intelligence. The second type of intelligence is one who's drawn his intelligence towards the material objects, enjoyment of the material things. Whatever they see, everything they think to use it for their own enjoyment. These are the two ways. So now when we apply this, when Krishna is saying Yanisha Sarvabhutana, when everybody is asleep, generally when we are asleep, what is happening? So the gross body is lying, subtle body is in dreaming. Dreaming means we are busy many times, even in the daytime also. We are busy in so many different material activities most of the time. Then that means this busyness is also like a dreaming. So we don't know what is the actual ultimate goal of life. We are dreaming. So when person is sleeping also with the subtle body is acting very much. He doesn't know what's going on at the time when he's sleeping. He doesn't know what's nothing surrounding what's going on or anything. He's just sleeping that time. So when the intelligent person, what's happening is so what it means that sleep means for the introspective sage, he is not he is aware of his consciousness, he is aware of his senses, he is aware of his mind, he is aware of his where is all his faculties must be utilized in the service of the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord. So he is not engaged, he is fully aware, he is fully conscious of using everything in service of the Lord. Everything, not only his body, his mind, his intelligence, his extended body, that means his family, his wealth, everything, whatever he sees. That is what the intelligence directed toward the spirit soul, directed toward the Brahman realization. So that is what, when everybody is sleeping, that means everybody, while literal sleeping, they are in ignorance, they don't know what's going on around them. But for the introspective sage, the soul, the spirit soul, one who is introspective, self-realized, he is aware of, fully conscious, he is always applying. Even if you think take it other way, but the living entities, generally daytime, what they are doing, they are fully working, but they are not conscious of anything spiritual. They are fully conscious of the material enjoyment. That is what they are using. So that time, that is daytime, living entity. But the introspective say, for him it is night time. Why? He is sleeping. What does it mean? That means when living entities are enjoying, living entities are engaged in the lamentation, the disturbances, or the happiness, seemingly happiness, material happiness, the spirit soul, the self-realized soul is not affected by, he is disinterested in those things. He is acting only to the degree he needs to use. He has to eat, he has to sleep. Unregulated. Asha pasa satayar baddha. Annenartha kamabhogartham. Annenartha sanchayam. Asha pasa satayar baddha. So because of this, those who are completely in this, using his intelligence towards the matter only, not toward the actual understanding his real self, they are always, in daytime they are in ignorance, night time they are all completely in ignorance. So both ways they are fully focused towards the matter, how to use it for themselves, but not realizing where this matter is coming from, the material things. So this is what is Krishna is talking about. Self-realized soul is fully awake. When everybody is asleep, then they are awake. Means they are always conscious. They are using their everything in Krishna service. When the living entity is in daytime, they are engaged in so many activities. They are disinterested, but they are using only to the extent what they need in terms of regulated sense, using their regulated enjoyment. You could say regulated enjoyment, yes, because everybody has to eat, everybody has to sleep, everybody has to mating, and different. These four things must go on as a human, as soon as we have the human form of life, or any form of life in this material world. It is a must. We cannot survive without that. So that is what here, what it means, one who is awake. And then Isopanishad is talking about this intelligence in two ways. Verse number 10 is explaining the same aspect. Where is that? Avidyaya ahur. Yeah. Anyad eva ahur vidyaya. Anyad ahur avidyaya. Iti sushrumadhiranam enastad vichachakshire. Those who are in ignorance, someone who is self-realized, fully conscious, then his intelligence is towards cultivating transcendental knowledge, cultivating self-realization. But the other person, avidya, ignorance, sleep, then his intelligence is drawn towards cultivating material knowledge, material enjoyment, how to get more and more happiness through the material objects is towards that. That's what he's doing. So and then same thing, Prabhupada is quoting the Kathopanishad and Gargopanishad. Gargopanishad also. One who is intelligent is called a Brahmana. One who is not using his life in using properly for self-realization is called Krupana, miserly. Means he is not aware of what's going on. So he is called miserly. It is mentioned in this Gargopanishad. Etad viditvaya prayati sa eva brahmana gargi. Otherwise, etad aviditvayati prayati sa eva krupana. You can mute Prabhu, we are joined. One who knows what he is and then is.
Can you come and lift you?
Hare Krishna, please mute your line. Let me mute. Hold on. Yeah, okay, thank you. So one who knows, one who doesn't know how to, means he is quitting his body without understanding what is the ultimate goal of life, how his body has been formed. who has given this body. So who is the owner of the actual body? Who is the owner of this whole material world? So without understanding that one who is quitting is called Kripana. Gargamuni is speaking to his wife Gargi. So and then again he is speaking the same thing. One who understands his actual whom this everything belongs to, then is quitting this body is called Brahmana. So in this way we understand this what Krishna is trying to say here, that so how to utilize everything in Krishna service. Now the examples we can see that from Sridhar Pandit is a very simple devotee, as it is explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavat. Before that, I think, before that also in Kathapanishad it is mentioned, please be awake always. Uttishta varan nibodha, jagrata varan nibodha. Always get up and fight. Get up and direct your senses, direct your mind, direct your intelligence towards spiritual activities, towards introspective activities. Especially use your internal consciousness and direct towards Krishna in the center. Engage in your activities. You cannot become desireless, you cannot become senseless, you cannot become activityless, but how to bring all the activities with Krishna in the center. So that's what even Kathopanishad, the whole pastime, the underlying point of Kathopanishad is be careful. It is like a sharp razor edge. If you don't use your material, your life carefully, then so we just go on taking different species of life, and we cannot even get human birth. So that's a wake up from the sleep. That's what even the Katha Upanishad, all these Upanishads is talking about the same thing. That's why Upanishads is very, very important, and Gita Upanishad is the essence of all the Upanishads. Now coming back to the Kolavecha Sridhar, is called Kolavecha Sridhar because Kola means in Bengal banana, because his duty is very simple living, high thinking. This pastime is explaining how to intensify very intensely, is always engaging in trying to serve the Lord while working, while he is selling, used to buy banana plant, the whole thing is selling banana leaf, banana cups, banana stem, banana flower, everything about banana plant, banana is everything is useful, nothing is unuseful. So he used to sell all banana related products. Hardly in Bengal, everybody has banana. It's not much, but he was not getting much money. But still, he was surviving only on that, and he was using whatever he's getting. 50% he is using again worshipping Ganga, and then he is using only 50%. And in the night, he was not sleeping. He was not sleeping at all. Very, very limitedly, he was sleeping. He was chanting loudly holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So while doing that, then all his neighbors came. Oh, this person doesn't look like he's crazy. He has gone mad. He is very hungry. He is not able to sleep. That's why he's chanting. He is doing all these things. He's showing up. He's shouting. He's making all these sounds, and so he's not able to sleep. He's just simply wasting time. So that's what they thought, and they told also, why are you doing just 1 year? Don't worship Ganga. 50%. 1 year you spend, then you can increase your business. Once you get money, then you can start worshipping again. Then because now you cannot maintain, you are not able to. You are so poor. And he said, no, I still have clothes. Oh, you have torn clothes. Then what? I am still, my body is covered. You can't see my body. My body is covered. So your house has holes. No. Still, rain sometimes falls, but I am still able to stay. Only few places it falls. So still, I have a home. I can sleep. I can eat. I am getting the food. I am able to sell. I am engaging in business. So he is completely in simple living and high thinking. So that is his, and his intensity is the main center point is Krishna is in the center of his activity. So that's why he is not overly complicating his life. He is keeping his life simple, and so that and then we can see from his example how the Lord himself is coming and glorifying. And this Sridhar Pandit is from West Bengal, Mayapur area in Simanta Dweep in near Rajapur Jagannath. He is from Rajapur Jagannath. His place is near there are mango groves, mango trees behind Rajapur Jagannath temple. It is compared to the Madhuvana forest of Vrindavan, because Sridhar Pandit is one of the 12 Gopalas from Vrindavan, from Krishna Leela. He is called Kusuma Sava, his name, that one of the Gopalas. He has appeared as Sridhar Pandit. This Prabhupada is quoting in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela. Kolavecha Sridhar Prabhu Priya Das, Janha Samay Prabhu Kare, Nitya Parihas. 29th branch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Sridhar became the tree bark trader, that is banana tree bark trader. He was very dear servant of the Lord, and the Lord has played jokes on him. And then Prabhupada is quoting Gaur Gandodesh Deepika, who is this Sridhar? Kolavecha Taya Kyata Pandita Sridharo Dvija Asid Vraje Hasya Karo Yo Nama Kusuma Sava. It's clearly explaining in this particular verse is the Kusuma Sava Gopal. Further, it is mentioned that so once the Lord Chaitanya went to Sridhar Pandit while after this Sankirtan movement, civil disobedient, Chand Kazi breaking the Mradanga. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed this huge Sankirtan first time. He was doing until that point engaged in Sankirtan in Srivas Angan within the house of Srivas Thakur. After the five personalities appeared, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, Krishna's expansion, Balram as Nityanand Prabhu, and then his second expansion, Mahavishnu and Sadashiv is Advaita Acharya, then the Gadadhar Pandit, internal energy, Srimati Radharani appeared as Gadadhar Pandit, and then pure devotee as Narada Muni has appeared as Srivas Thakur. So the Srivas Thakur displays Srivas Angan. It is compared as Rasa Sthali of Vrindavan, non different from Rasa Sthali. So there, Srivas Angan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to perform his Sankirtan, dancing, chanting whole night, no sleep, for days together. Nobody is allowed to enter, only confidential associates. But once he is ready, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was ready to distribute the holy name freely to each and every living entity. Then this Chand Kazi has broken Mradanga and he asked everybody to stop Sankirtan. That's when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed this huge Sankirtan movement, civil disobedient. Then after that, when then Chand Kazi was pacified, he has been also been given the transcendental knowledge. Then after coming back from there, he took a rest actually at Sridhar Pandit's home, where it is mentioned in the chapter 7. So three things he has done. One, he has come to his home and he has taken the water from his jug, which is full of holes, iron pot he had to drink water, but it has full of holes. And Sridhar Pandit went to get another glass, but Mahaprabhu forcibly took that glass and he drank it from the same glass which Sridhar used to drink, was using. It is meant Sridharera Lohiha Patra Kaila Jala Pana Samasta Bhaktera Dila Ishta Varadhana. Once Lord Chaitanya went to the house of Sridhar after Kirtan and drank the water from his damaged iron pot. Then he bestowed his benediction upon all the devotees according to their desires. There is a Kirtan Vishram Sthan, even now it is there. This Kirtan Vishram Sthali is there, where Mahaprabhu, after the huge Kirtan, all his associates came to rest. So he came to Sridhar Pandit's house. So before that, there is a pastime of Sridhar Pandit is explained in Chaitanya Bhagavat. We'll read few verses and then we'll discuss about the Muchukunda pastime also. So this is explained in Chaitanya Bhagavat. This is in Madhya Kanda part 2. So Mahaprabhu is performing this 21 hours Mahaprakash Leela in Srivas Angan one day, where Mahaprabhu is calling to bring Sridhar. He told his associate, bring Sridhar. Nobody is aware of who is this Sridhar. So Mahaprabhu describes who is this Sridhar and what is his qualities. So this is called Sat Prakara Leela. Prakara means 7. Sat 3 into 7, 21. 21 hours Mahaprakash Leela Mahaprabhu performed. He has exhibited, he has shown, and Mahaprabhu shown 6-armed form to Sridhar Pandit when he came, when the devotees brought Sridhar in front of the Lord showed him 6-armed form, Lord Ramachandra, Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. all three forms together to Srivas Thakur. Like he showed also to Sarvam Bhattacharya, also showed to King Prataprudra. Three personalities has showed, I think, yeah, Prataprudra, Ramanand Rai. So three personalities Lord has showed six armed form. And now, so Mahaprabhu is describing. वरोन्मुख कैलेन श्री गौरचंद्र योड़ा हस्ते रहीलेन सभा अनुचर. As Sri Gaurachandra was about to give benediction, all his followers stood before him with folded hands. Then he is calling, ordered, quickly go and bring Sridhara, let him come and behold my opulences. Agnya haila Sridharera jata giya ana asiya dekuha mora prakash vidan. As he constantly thinks of me, he feels great unhappiness. Bring him at once so that he may see my glories. Nirvada bhave mora bada dukka pana. Asiya dehu ka mora jata anagya. Go to the edge of the town and wait there. Bring that person who is calling out my name. Following the Lord's instructions, some Vaishnavas hurried to the house of Sridhara. Now here some topics about Sridhara. He earned his livelihood by selling banana leaves. एक बार कोला गची कानिया अनाया कानी कानी करी ताहा काटिया बेचया. He would buy one banana tree, cut into pieces, and then sell those pieces. The phrase kola gachi refers to the whole banana tree with the trunk intact. He offered half of whatever he earned in a day in worship of Ganga. Tahate ek kichu haya divase upaya tara ardha gangara naivedya lagi yaya. Simple life is using. So with the other half, he maintained his life. This is the test of a devotee of a Vishnu. Ardeka savodaya haya nija prana raksha yehi matta haya Vishnu bhaktera pariksha. So in this way he was using. And then further he was truthful as Maharaj Yudhishthir. He never deviated from whatever price he fixed. Now sometimes those who knew his glories would buy his goods without bargaining. No one could understand the banana stem seller. Sridhar was a transcendental devotee of Lord Chaitanya. Chari prahara ratri nidra nahi Krishna name sarva ratri hari bale dirgala ahwane. He passed the entire night without sleep while loudly chanting the names of Krishna and Hari. Yate ka pasandi bale Sridharera dake ratre nidra nahi yai dui karna pate. All the atheists continued. Due to Sridhara's loud cries, we cannot sleep at night and our ears are broken. He is a low-class fellow who cannot fill his stomach. Being afflicted with hunger, he stays up all night. Maha achasa beta bate peta nahi bare Shuddhaya vyakula hana ratri jagi mare. So with his hungry, he is yelling and shouting. He is not able to sleep. That is the complaint. So and then they are coming and approaching him. In this way, the atheists continued their blasphemy as Sridhar happily engaged in his own activities. Yehi matta pasandi maraye manda bali nija karya karaye Sridhara kutuhali. Then Sridhara continued to loudly call out the name of Hari with love throughout the night. Hari bali daitike ye achaya Sridhare nisha bhage prema yoga dake uchaishware. As soon as the devotees got halfway there, they heard the loud cries of Sridhara. Even actually these outside neighbors, actually they told, you stop worshipping Ganga, you stop worshipping Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna, you start worshipping Durga, then you will get lot of benefits. So you will get nice home, you will get nice wealth, you will get so many nice benefits. They started explaining all these things. And he said, I don't need, I have the home, I have the business, I am getting money. So I don't need anything. So I am very happy in what I have. So you can understand his consciousness, that intelligence is fully awake, fully self-realized with Krishna in the center. His intensity is to use, even though he is eating, he is sleeping, he is sleeping very less because fully controlled. As 6 Goswamis also used to sleep only 1.5 hours, and Prabhupada himself used to sleep only 2 hours or maybe 4 hours sometimes, but generally 2 hours. Bhaktivinoda Thakur also is a Grihastha, almost 11 kids he had, I think. So they still, and he was a High Court judge. So he is not like a renounced or something, but still he was sleeping only 2 hours or so. So fully working, fully self-realized soul. So they are showing by their own example. So here further it is continued. Devotees followed that sound and quickly frowned Sridhara. Oh Mahasaya, come and see the Lord. Let us become glorious by your touch. Chalo chalo Mahasaya, Prabhu dekha giya. Amar kritartha hai tuma parashiya. On hearing the Lord's name, Sridhar became overwhelmed with ecstasy and fell unconscious to the ground. What Mahaprabhu used to do before this, he used to go and argue with Sridhar. Hey, you are putting too much profit, so I cannot pay this. Then he used to argue, give me for only half of this price. Take out this much too much profit you are putting. Then he came to the extent that then he decided, oh, yeah, he's at least he's Brahmana. He looks like a saintly. So he's arguing with me. So let me give away. No, I don't want to argue. Let me give without, even if he doesn't want to pay. Let me give everything. So to that extent, then Mahaprabhu used to go every day to Sridhar Pandit and then Kolavecha Sridhar, and then he used to argue. He used to take banana leaves, banana plant. He also, after that Sankirtan, when he stayed there and he drank the water, and he also saw a pumpkin on the top. Actually, yeah, it is mentioned in one book. It is mentioned he got the pumpkin from the top of the house of Sridhar, and then that was used to make a kheer. Mahaprabhu likes kheer, where this pumpkin was used. And then they actually in another place, Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think, where or in Chaitanya Bhagavata in different place, it is mentioned in Chaitanya Bhagavata, I think. Before taking sannyas, the last pastime of before sannyas, Mahaprabhu taking sannyas, then one devotee brought milk, one devotee brought this one, that is Sridhar, Pandit Kolavecha Sridhar has given this pumpkin. So Mahaprabhu used both. He asked his mother to cook, use this milk, use this pumpkin and cook, make a kheer. So then he took that before sannyas, taking sannyas. That was the last pastime. You can imagine, understand how much, even though Sridhar didn't have any wealth, so he was so simple. But seeing his intensity, Mahaprabhu was attracted by his devotion. So his simplicity. So that's why devotee means simple. He's not crooked. He doesn't have any duplicitous nature. He's simple at heart. He doesn't have something outside, something inside. He's open heart. So that if you want to become, you want to please the Lord, please the Guru, please the devotees, be open, especially with devotees, especially specifically, especially with Guru, with sadhus. Be open. Otherwise, it will be. There are many pastimes. So I don't have anything. All I have is ashes. Then it became ashes. When we say the fault thing, then automatically we become entrapped with that faultiness, and more we do with Vaishnavas, it's not good at all in our devotion. We can see how truthful Mahaprabhu himself is explaining. So on hearing the Lord's name, Sridhar became overwhelmed with ecstasy and fell unconscious to the ground. Then the devotees quickly picked him up and carefully brought him before Vishwambar. And then you can see what he's asking, how he behaves. You can see generally when somebody is not wealthy, somebody doesn't have any money, but then as soon as somebody is giving benediction, then generally they ask for so many things. But here you can see Sridhar, that means he is fully self-realized. He understood what is the essence of life. He understood what is temporary, what is permanent, what is need, what is a want. He understood all these aspects. That means fully realized, fully Jnana became Vijnana. So, idam tute guhyatamam pravaksham anasuje. Jnanam Vijnana savitam. Yad gnatva mokshasya azuva. Then we will be able to liberate. When the Jnana, the knowledge, when we apply, when it becomes realized knowledge, fully aware of what's going on, how to use everything. So that's how Sridhar became. On seeing Sridhar, Lord was pleased and called him, come. Sridhara dekhiya Prabhu, prasanna haila, aisa vali, dekhi te lagila. You have worshipped me so long, you have passed many lifetimes to obtain my love. In this life, you have also served me so much. I always eat rice off of your banana leaves. I have eaten many items obtained from you. You have forgotten your conversation with me. When the Lord manifested his pastimes as scholar, this is before sannyas, Nimai Pandit, that's when he used to argue. Now the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibiting after he took initiation from Ishwarapuri, then he is calling Sridhar. So that's why nobody is aware who is this Sridhar. Devotees are not aware who is it. So that's why Mahaprabhu is telling this. Yahana Karila Prabhu Vidyar Vilas, Parama Uddata Hena Ekama Prakash, Sei Kale Goda Rupe, Sridhar Sange, Kola Kena Vecha Chale, Kailu Bahu Rangi. When the Lord manifested his pastime as a scholar, he acted like a most arrogant person, keeping his identity concealed. He enjoyed various pastimes with Sridhar on the pretext of buying banana leaves. The Lord daily visited Sridhara's shop and brought banana leaves, bananas, and banana stems. He would daily quarrel with Sridhara for 2 hours and then buy his goods for half price. Although truthful, Sridhara quoted a reasonable price, the Lord would take the goods at half price. Then Sridhara would stand up, grab hold of the goods, and a tug of war would ensue. In this way, Sridhara and the Lord would show each other. The Lord would say, "Oh, brother Sridhara, why do you live like an ascetic when you have so much wealth?" Mahaprabhu talking this. "Why are you taking the goods from my hand? Don't you know yet who I am?" The most Brahmanical Sridhara did not become angry. After looking at the Lord's face, he gave him all the goods. He gave him all the goods. Generally, we tend to become angry when we are not fully conscious, fully aware, fully operating, not fully operating on the sadhu and shastra and guru, fully become Vijnan, not practically fully operating on the above goodness. Then we become angry even small things. Here, Lord, somebody hardly getting little money selling, and then half of that only he has hardly has any home, anything. But we are wealthy. Just like we cook prasadam. I'm telling you, so many examples we can think of this related. Then everything is nothing, no prasad, single grain left for you. You cooked so much, you spent so much energy, not a single thing left for you. Then how do you feel? Most of the time we feel angry, we feel disturbed. But still we shouldn't feel. Everything we should take, accept as a given, the gift given by the Supreme Lord. Everything is given by the providence of the Supreme Lord. Lord has a certain instruction for us at each and every scenario situation. We shouldn't be agitated. We shouldn't be become too much anxiety. So, as to teach a lesson, to instruct our kids, sometimes we may have to become, but otherwise we shouldn't be. Things do happen while using the car, while being in the job. Many things happen. So others may get promotion, we may not get. Others may be in a they might always put us down. So many things may happen, but more we take anxiety into our mind and consciousness, that disturbs, actually, that will not help us in progress of our spiritual journey. So that, but here you can see Sridhara, even though he doesn't know, Sridhar doesn't know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Lord himself is quarreling. He just went Nimai Pandit. At that time, nobody is aware that he is the Lord. So that time he is quarreling. But Sridhar still, that means you can see his genuine devotion, internal how much he is satisfied, content, he is so peaceful, is not at all angry at all. You can understand the quality he has developed, understood the actual goal of life, how to be simple, how to be peaceful. So that means he has understood the essence of the whole life. So that's what we can understand. So we have to practice this slowly and gradually. We have to practice this. The most Brahmanical Sridhara did not become angry. After looking at the Lord's face, he gave him all the goods. And then further, the form of Gaurasundara was more enchanting than that of Cupid. His forehead was beautifully decorated with tilak. He was dressed in a dhoti tucked in at 3 places. His hair was curly, and both his nature and eyes were restless. Lord's 2 eyes are by nature most restless. The subtle palm, Anantadeva resided in the white Brahmana thread that adorned his body. The Lord showed bitterness as he looked at Sridhara. Then he again picked up banana leaves with his own hands. Sridhara said, "Listen, O respected Brahmana, please forgive me, for I am your dog." See his consciousness. This is amazing. Sridhara Balena Suna Brahmana Thakur. Kshama kare more muni tomar kukur. The Lord said, "I know you are very clever. You have accumulated so much wealth by selling banana leaves." That means Mahaprabhu is teaching he has accumulated wealth of actual transcendental piety. That's what he has accumulated. That's what actually we should be. We should be satisfied with what we have. whatever little bit of devotion we have, we should be satisfied. Whatever Lord is giving, we should be satisfied. Not so. Obviously, we should be always greedy for devotion, not satisfied with what we have. We should be greedy to become more and more dear, more and more fixed up. प्रभु भले जाने तुम्हें परम चतुर कोला कोलावेच अर्ध तुम्हार अर्ध आचार्य प्रचुर. Are there no other shops? Sridhar asked. Go there and buy. Go there and buy. Leaves cheaper. And the Lord forcibly took Sridhar's goods. Sridhar asked, instead of taking from me, why don't you go to another shopkeeper and buy banana leaves cheaper? Lord replied, I will not give up my supplier. Take my money and give me stems and bananas. On seeing the Lord's beauty, Sridhara would become overwhelmed and smile. Then Viswambara would jubilantly speak harsh words to him. You buy ingredients that you regularly offer to the Ganga. So what is wrong if you give me a discount? I am the father of Ganga, whom you regularly worship. This is the truth I am telling you. Sridhara then covered his ears with his hands and exclaimed, Vishnu, Vishnu. Seeing the Lord so arrogant, Sridhara then gave him the leaves and stems. Karne kashta dei Sridhara Vishnu Vishnu bale uddhata dekiya tare dei pata kole. In this way, they both regularly quarreled with each other. Sridhara considered the Lord as the most restless Brahmana. Sridhara said, I am defeated. Please leave me alone. I will give you something free. I will give you a piece of stem, few bananas and few leaves. Then I am still at fault. Am I still at fault? He is asking. Giving free, but still he is asking. The Lord said, good, good. I have no more complaint. The Lord regularly ate rice off of Sridhara's leaf plates. So in this way, the Lord enjoys the gifts of his devotees, does not glance at millions of gifts offered by non-devotees. Lord Chaitanya had a desire to perform this pastime. That is why he had Sridhara sell banana leaves. In order to perform such pastimes, he made Sridhara sell banana leaves. Who can understand the pastimes of the Lord Vishnu and Vaishnavas? In this way, in the interest of time, already late. So we'll come to that end, last few verses here. So here it is mentioned, so the Sridhara is asking, what is he asking? So Sridhara replied, I do not want it. Yeah, when Lord has asked, please ask for boon, then what is he asking? You must take some benediction. I don't want any benediction. Lord said, oh Sridhara, choose and ask for a benediction. Today I will give you the 8 mystic perfections. He's testing. Even in the second example also, Muchukunda example also, Lord has tested. Lord is testing us so many times. In terms of difficulties, in terms it could be health or job, any problem, many times. He's always testing. Testing as a Maya also. He's showing so many allurements, so many times. Each and every living entity are allured with so many things, whether it's a TV or car or cell phone or money or gold, you name it. Everybody has a different attraction to different things. So the Lord is giving so many different types of tests. So we have to see and how to utilize things. Here the Lord is asking, please ask me benediction. I will give you 8 mystic. That is Nava Siddhis. 8 that is mystic yoga perfections. Becoming smaller than smallest and higher, heavier than the heaviest. You can bring anything from anywhere. All those things. That is 8 mystic. Sridhara replied, oh Lord, will you again deceive me? Stay peaceful, for this will not be possible again. The Lord said, seeing me cannot be fruitless. You must take some benediction according to your desire. Viswambara repeatedly said, ask. Sridhara replied, oh Lord, then give me this benediction. Let that Brahmana who forcibly took away my banana leaves be my Lord birth after birth. Ei Brahmana kadi nila mora kola pata. Sei Brahmana hoka mora janma nata. So same person, let me argue, let him come and argue with me, let him come and grab the things from me. So let me always, he's further saying, let me always engage in the service of the lotus feet of that Brahmana who constantly quarrel with me. While speaking in this way, Sridhar's love for the Lord increased and he began crying loudly with his arms raised. On seeing Sridhara cry, all the Vaishnavas became overwhelmed and also cried. Viswambara smiled and said, listen, Sridhar, I want to make you the king of the great kingdom. Sridhar replied, I do not want anything. Make such arrangement, O Lord, that I may chant your names. The Lord said, O Sridhara, you are my servant. That is why you are able to see my opulences. That is why your mind do not deviate from me. Thus I am giving you devotion service that is confidential to the Vedas. So all the Vaishnavas chanted Jai Jai as they heard the benediction given to Sridhara. He had no wealth, no followers, and no education. Who can recognize as servants of Lord Chaitanya? So in this way we can see the from Sridhar Pandit, see how he is using. He was not saying he is fully controlled. So this is a gradual progress. Prabhupada has told it took 20 years to come to perfection. In a humble state, he is teaching us. It takes, if you seriously practice, 20 years to come to that highest, at least minimum. Very seriously, if you practice under the guidance of in the association of devotees, under the guidance of spiritual master, you practice very, very seriously, understanding the allurements, understanding each and every aspect, how the will of the providence is acting, then we will be able to come to the perfection of Nama, Gana, Sadaruchi. We will be able to develop the taste for holy name. That's why we have to engage, not only chanting the holy name of the Lord, but also we must engage physically in some service, because that service helps in cleansing our dirtiness in the mind, in the intelligence, as Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. Why somebody is forced to act in sinfully, abominably? Why I am forced to, even though I don't want, but still I am being forced. Arjuna is asking, third question in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 3, 3.36. Now Krishna is telling, it is only lust, only Arjuna, it is sitting in mind, senses, intelligence, everywhere it is sitting. So please curb this intelligence by transcendent, sharpen your intelligence by transcendental knowledge, Krishna is telling. So that's why it is very important. And then Prabhupada is mentioning in 1.3.44, one who understands this, one person who understands the actual the Srimad Bhagavatam is, he must have rapt attention. He cannot become rapt attention unless he is pure in his actions. He cannot become pure in his action unless he is pure in his mind. He cannot become pure in his mind unless he becomes his eating, sleeping, mating, defending is pure. You can understand. That means we must regulate our eating habit, regulate our sleeping habit, regulate our defending, mating. All these four activities we must regulate. We cannot become zero, but we must. That means what is required, that to that extent we should eat, to that extent we should sleep, to that extent defend, mating, all this, these four things are there, especially for human being. We must regulate. Without regulation, then that is what is causing us to create great anxiety, anger, frustration, lamentation, bewilderment. All these are coming from not having that regulation. So that's why it's very important. And Muchukunda also is a great king. We'll stop in 2-3 minutes. Muchukunda, this is in chapter 51 or so, I think, in Krishna book, and also in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. When Krishna killed, before killing, Kalayavana. Kalayavana is one of the personality, who is a demon, one of the demon also. He is coming to kill Krishna. He is running, then Krishna ran and ran and ran. He entered into a cave. Then he hid himself. Then Kalayavana also came chasing after Krishna. Then he entered his, then he couldn't find. Then he saw a personality sleeping. Then he thought, oh, Krishna has transformed himself like this person and is sleeping. He's showing, disguising himself. So let me kick him. So then Kalayavana kicked this personality. It's called Muchukunda. So he kicked. As soon as he kicked, then that's it. He was so angry. Then immediately he opened his eyes and with angry, and then he burned to ashes. Kalayavana, without Krishna killing him, he was burned to ashes, because then Sukadeva Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj asking, hey, what happened here? How did this happen? Such a great king, Kalayavana, by seeing, by his vision itself, how did he become into ashes? Then he explained, Muchukunda is not an ordinary king. He was a son of a mandata, great king, great devotee. Then he performed so much pious activities as a king. Charity and sacrifices, engaged in Lord's devotion service. Because of that pious activity, then he demigods, even he was a stalwart warrior. Demigods, mute yourself. Somebody is not muted. Hold on. So demigods called them. Demigods called Muchukunda, come and fight on behalf of us, because he was a great fighter. He could fight for so long. He was captivated by the wealth and everything that till that point. Then when Muchukunda then finally he fought, they became victorious. Then Kartikeya told, okay, what kind of boon you want? And he said he understood. Now also think about it. You cannot don't ask for liberation. We cannot give. But you ask for anything. But also you let you know that your family is not there. It's been years, the lifetime, many days, years, months gone by. Your family, your all your members are gone because so long you fought here in demigod's kingdom, which is almost 6 months is one day in earthly planet. So now nobody is there. So whoever was there with you at that time, nobody is there now. So don't ask for those things. Then he understood, okay, so my time is limited. So he understood. Then he asked, okay, he was very sleepy because he didn't sleep for so long. He was fighting for demigod. Then he asked, okay, let me sleep peacefully. Then this was the, and also Muchukunda, Viswanath Chakravarti Thakur and Acharya explained, in the beginning he had association with the great devotee Gargamuni. Gargamuni had association, and Gargamuni already told him, in future you are going to meet Lord Krishna face to face. He has told. So by the association of Gargamuni is already has been, by the association of him, by the association of his his instruction, his warning, he has already on the path of self-realization gradually by his practices. So he became fixed up devotee. So as he got the benefit boon of sleeping, peacefully sleeping, then he told, you will not be, nobody will disturb you. So then if somebody disturb, then give me a boon that I will, as soon as I see with my eyes who are disturbed, then they will be born to ashes. That was the boon he asked. Then he went to enter to the cave, and then he was sleeping. This Muchukunda. That's when this Kalayavana ran and came to find where is Krishna. Then he saw, and then immediately kicked him. Then immediately he saw. Then Kalayavana was burned to ashes. That's all. And then Muchukunda, then Lord Krishna face to face. He didn't show. Lord Krishna entered before Kalayavana came. Muchukunda was there. He could have woke him up and he could have given his darshan. But Lord is again testing. Further also is testing. So then when he burned Kalayavana into ashes, then Lord came in front of him. So that time, so obviously Lord is showing a four-handed form, not in a two-handed form, because Muchukunda was not completely aware who is this personality. He couldn't understand and identify who is this personality. But when he showed this four-handed form, then he could understand. He has a doubt. Means he could understand that this must be Lord Narayana. Then he saw the beautiful form. Then he is chanting beautiful prayers. This is in 10th canto, 51st chapter, 55, 23 and 26. 3 verses are there. Tam alokya ganasyamam pita kauseya vasasam srivatsa vakshasam brajat kaustubena virajitam chadurbhujam rochamanam vaijayantya malaya charu prasanna vadanam spuran makara kundalam. 2 more verses are there, beautifully explaining how Lord has a four-handed form, Chaturbhujam, beautifully decorated with Vaijayanti mala, and he has a Kaustuba gem on his chest, Srivasa gem, and then he has a Kaustuba jewel, and then he has a blackish blue cloud color he has. So in this way he saw the Lord. Then he could understand he is definitely the Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna. So then he offered his prayers, and then he started. Then Lord asked, what benediction you want? Ask me something. So then he asked me, you want opulence, you want, so various things he asked then, but Muchukunda clearly told, no, I don't want anything. I have wasted already. I am not at all qualified, but by your causeless mercy you appeared before me. Let me not waste this life. So please give me pure devotion service. That's what he has asked. So Lord has tested him in so many years. You asked me this benediction, that benediction, but he was not budged. So he didn't ask for any of that. So then Krishna is giving. So we also, it doesn't mean that Lord Krishna may directly come to us, but he may come through different avenues, through his devotees, through his different seniors, superiors, different allurements may come, different blessings. That's why when we ask for blessings, when we pray, so we should be careful what we ask for. Otherwise, we will be become entangled in those subsidiary things, not the highest things. So he's asking, na kamaye anyam tavapada sevanat. He asked for I don't want any other desire other than Tavapada Sevanat, Akinchana Pravruttaya Atma Varam Vibho, O greatest, O Supreme Lord, give me this benediction that Aradhya Kastvam Hi Apavargadham Hare Brunita Anyo Varam Atma Bandhanam. Lord Krishna has enticed him, but he didn't take anything. He asked only for pure devotion. So in this way, we can see that in these two examples, even though he is a great king, one is poor, Sridhar Pandit, he was a poor, but he is used simple living, high thinking. He was content, he is happy, and his everything, his activity is centered around the Lord. He is using in worship of Ganga, is using to chant the holy name, everything like that. And then on the other side also we see King this Muchukunda. He was a great king, but gradually, slowly and gradually, he was also very pious from the beginning. Slowly and gradually, he has also understood and realized what is the value of life. And then he also gradually became pure devotee. That's why, otherwise, there is no possibility for anybody to see the Lord directly in this case, because by the association of Gargamuni, he could see, and Sridhar Pandit obviously in the previous life also. And then by the association of devotees, by the worship of the Lord, by chanting the holy name of the Lord, by hearing the pastime of the Lord, so by regulated activities, all of them, both are in regulated activities. Without regulation, without Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, we cannot come to Ragana spontaneous. So that's why regulation is very important. We must plan, we must regulate our life in terms. So that's what these qualifications is explained in this Sthuta Pragnastakam, in these 10 plus verses, in this last verses of this chapter 2. Krishna is teaching us, don't be conquered by the sleep, don't be conquered by the ignorance, don't be conquered by these unwanted desires, don't be tenacity. We have this mind and intelligence has this tenacity to increase and increase the more and more with unwanted, piling up unwanted things and what do you call fill up with unwanted things, and then you don't have space to, you don't know what is actually the what to ask, what to get, what is the need, what is the want. So that's why we have to be careful. More you associate with devotees, more you engage in service, more you chant, more you hear, then we'll be able to actually clear up these unwanted clutter in our senses, in our mind, everywhere, throughout our body, gross body, subtle body, everywhere it is there, fully a lot of clutter is there. So that must be cleared up. Only way, not chanting is not alone is not enough. Especially if you chant purely, yes, it is enough. But we are not at that level. We are not chanting purely. So many multitasking. We are not, even if you are not sitting at one place and chanting, also we are not chanting purely. So many thoughts. Consciousness is not pure. So that's why, while in the association of devotees, when we engage in the service of the Lord, especially on next festivals coming up, Jagannath Snana Yatra, Chidadahi festival on 22nd Tuesday. So all these are very, very important festivals. Balram Jayanti is coming up in August, and then Jagannath and Sri Krishna Janmashtami, so and Radhashtami. All these festivals lined up, very, very important days. So much mercy is available. We have to grab the mercy on these special days. More and more than ordinary days. Regular days is there. You engage in service, definitely nothing. We are not loss of anything. Whatever service we do, whatever little bit, tiny bit we do towards the Supreme Lord, everything is counted. Nothing is lost at any time, any point of time. Yes, we may come to stand still, or we may have a gap of lifetimes. If we perform a Vaishnava aparad, we may perform simple activities more and more on the strength of the holy name, on the strength of devotion. Oh, Lord will take care of me. Let me engage in simple activity. It's okay. So then, if you do that, then whatever 1%, 2% accumulated, that will be always there. But then we will not continue for quite some time to the degree how much sinful we become, how much or what kind of activity we perform. Accordingly to that degree, we will have a lot of gap. We may not give up the devotion service and go back to our material thing. Then again we take up after many days, months, years, or lifetimes. So that's why we have to choose our free will choice. Krishna is telling clearly in Bhagavad Gita, that's a step by step. So life uttishta varan jagrata varan nibodhata. So we must wake up from our sleepy life and then come to this realization, like Sridhar Pandit, like Muchukunda, and then act having without having desire. Even if you have desires, ask for Krishna to purify. Let me get this, but also purify my this desire. Let me try to serve devotees, try to serve you. At least ask for that. Along with others, gradually we become purified rather than approaching anybody else other than the Supreme Lord. So we'll stop here. Any questions? Anyone has questions on the Google Meet? Anyone has questions? You can unmute and ask. Yeah. If not, let me ask on the phone. On the phone, anyone has questions? Yes. Okay. Okay. No questions. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother. Okay. Thank you.